Well, hello there, motherfuckers. I still got the Rand suit on. So, one last pay-per-view review, and we're gonna call it a day. This is Armageddon 2006. And, I fancy this pay-per-view. Yes, I do. I think it was a pretty good show, actually. Let's talk a little bit about it here. First match is Kane defeating MVP in an Inferno match. Now, for all them PG motherfuckers out there, this is an Inferno match, not the Ring of Fame match, where the object is just to pin an opponent and the ring just happens to be surrounded by fire. No, motherfuckers, you light your opponent on fire like a crispy-ass barbecue, like you're at fucking KFC, Kentucky Fried Wrestler. KFW, yeah. That's what I'm talking about right here. Some attitude here, some ruthless aggression. Some real violence here on this pay-per-view to open it up. This is what it was like. Not that like 2006 was like a fucking amazing year or anything. And in fact, this was a part of the time when wrestling was starting to really just go downhill, slowly here. But to open up a show where a man gets lit on fire, how the fuck can you go wrong with that, motherfuckers? That is a wrestling show right there. And I give this match 3 stars. MVP getting lit on fire. Sure, his suit might have been flame retardant or whatever, but still, the man was on fire. 3 stars, not like it was a really good match or anything, but how can I give it anything less than that? When a man was lit on fire, motherfuckers, and may I tell you that JBL's performance on commentary during this match and throughout the event was probably one of his best jobs on commentary. The way how he turned to Michael Cole and said, "A man was lit on fire." This was commentary at its best. I look at JBL nowadays, and he's so toned down. They're not letting him do what he can do on commentary. It's a real fucking shame. Then the next match, it was Paul London and Brian Kendrick defeating William Regal and Dave Taylor, Eminem, and the Hardy Boys in a ladder match. This match was supposed to just be Paul London and Kendrick defending their tag titles against Regal and Dave Taylor. It probably would have been a decent match, but this turned out to be an excellent match. Holy fucking shit, was it? It was one of the best ladder matches of all time, and in my opinion, very underrated. Probably one of the most underrated WWE matches of all time. And I am not like just being crazy there, just being stuck in the moment. I've, molded it over in my head. This is like the second or third time I've seen this match. It's really good. And maybe riskier in some spots that they did than anything else. This is the match where Joey Mercury broke his nose. What a terrifying spot. There was blood everywhere. It was a legitimate injury. It wasn't supposed to happen. The ladder teeter-totters right into his face. There's blood gushing everywhere. It's fucking brutal. It's violent. It was disgusting. It was classic. And you had just a lot of great Hardy Boys spots. The champs were going crazy in this match. Brian Kendrick does a sliced bread number 2 off the top. Kendrick and London were a great team. It's a real shame that for some reason they both get fired for having good matches. Oh man, release these guys. They had one of the best ladder matches of all time. Let's release them. What a fucking stupid ass idea. These guys should still be wrestling today. Paul London is wasting his time and, the jobber indie feds, and I think he's in Japan or wherever the fuck he's in. The man was trained by Shawn Michaels. He could have been a big star. All they had to do was train him on the mic, teach him how to talk. And he could have been great. Before they released him, he was in a program with with Shawn Michaels against Jericho, it could have been great. It could have been classic. But instead, they fired him for no reason other than they didn't know how to use him properly due to retardation. This is why WWE has the problems that they have nowadays. No, not just because they fired Paul London, but just because they don't know how to use people. You have a talented guy. He doesn't know how to talk. Teach him how to talk. They do it all the time. How do you think actors in Hollywood got to be that big? Yes, they have natural talent, but you got to train them. Teach them how to be good. You just can't be good like that. You got to work with people. Fucking bullshit here. 5 stars. Yes, I did not see any problems with this match. It was thoroughly entertaining. It's a nice, long, brutal match. It's classic. It's just underrated, that's all. But I give it 5 stars, and that ain't overrating it, motherfuckers. Just because you might have not heard of it. There's a lot of matches in the history of this company that they like to pretend didn't happen. But no, it happened right here. And this was good. The Boogeyman defeated Miz. This was, had no reason to be on pay-per-view at this point. The Miz, at this point, had no fucking business being in the ring. He was lame and retarded, and even JBL constantly said it throughout the match, which kind of really made me wonder why they even hired Miz in the first place. He was very, very terrible when he first started. And the Boogeyman, why he was wrestling a match against the Miz here was very, very confusing. It wasn't a match worthy of pay-per-view. But this was the problem with a lot of these brand exclusive pay-per-views that they were doing at this time. This was actually the last ever SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. A little fun fact there. Because there was no reason to have these brand exclusive pay-per-views. They could barely fill out the card most of the time. They were lucky on this one that they had some good matches though. Match was terrible. I give it a dud. Chris Benoit defeated Chavo Guerrero for the U.S. title right here. Benoit retains. Pretty decent match. I think they could have did a little bit better here. It was kind of slow in some parts. Mostly thanks to Chavo. Chavo slowing it down with a lot of rest holds didn't help, but it was decent enough. 2.5 stars. It was a pretty decent match. A little bit too slow for my taste, but it was an alright match. Gregory Helms defeated Jimmy Wang Yang. This was for the Cruiserweight title. I liked it. I thought it was good. The fans are chanting boring. JBL goes off on the crowd. And, rightfully so, this match wasn't boring. Actually, there was quite a few risks being taken in this match. Not a WCW Cruiserweight match, but, good enough for WWE. It was pretty fast-paced in there. Gregory Helms with a neck breaker off the top. Jimmy Wang Yang with a corkscrew moonsault off the top. He misses. Helms crushes him with his knee, and he starts bleeding from the mouth at the end, showing that it was a very physical match. Very good 3 stars here. Very well put together little cruiserweight match here. Gregory Helms was a good wrestler. I don't understand why they fucked him up. And they ended up releasing him because of a little incident, a couple of years later. I don't know why they haven't rehired this man. He was pretty good. I enjoyed him as a cruiserweight champion. He had a good string of matches with Matt Hardy. So, I look at matches like this and I see, all the more reason to hire him back. The Undertaker defeated Mr. Kennedy in the last 5 match. This was pretty fucking good. A nice little, classic brawl here with some dangerous stunts. Kennedy throws Undertaker off a stage. He might have landed on a pad, but still, it's part of the show. Why they still can't do this dangerous shit during the PG era is beyond me. Taker gets thrown onto a mat, he is safe. But it's all part of the spectacle. You know, why can't they do this during the PG era? I guess because it's too violent. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, there's PG-13 movies that are more violent than this fucking shit. Now, we know it's TV PG, but still, they could do a little bit more, you know. But that, you know, I like this match. Mr. Kennedy showed here that, you know, he was pretty deserving of a push in the WWE. I don't know about world title, but I look at a match like this, and he certainly did not deserve to get released. He was improving. He wasn't that good when he first started, but, you know, him and Taker meshed pretty well here. 3.5 stars. It was a nice little brutal match. I really enjoyed the tombstone on top of the hearse at the end. Good spots. It was pretty memorable. Batista and John Cena defeated King Booker and Finlay. And this match was not that good. For a main event, this was a fucking cop-out. How can you put a tag match at the end of a fucking show like this? It was a pretty decent show. Fire, 5-star ladder match, you know, good bloody Taker Kennedy match. And they ended with just a very average tag match. I won't be mean or anything. I know it's Batista and Cena, and I don't like them, but I'll give it like 2 stars. It was all right. But it's, you know, the whole attraction here, the excuse for putting it on pay-per-view was it was the first time that the WWE champ and the World Heavyweight champ tagged together. Well, I didn't give a shit. You know, to me, it was just a waste, and it could have been done on a Raw, just promoted a week in advance, and that's all they had to do. They didn't need to put it on pay-per-view, for God fucking sakes. You know, they could have just did Cena versus Booker T, or Batista versus Booker T, or do a triple threat match, or do a 4-way match. But instead, they give us this. This was not good. This, I'm sorry, was not acceptable to have a match like this on pay-per-view. 2 stars. You know, I'm being nice there. All right. This pay-per-view was pretty fucking good, I think. Really, the only thing bad on it was Boogeyman and Miz. But, you know, I guess it was entertaining to see Boogeyman torturing Miz with the worms. The main event was disappointing, but there was a great ladder match. The Inferno match was good. You know, it had the good Taker match. I give this show, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Let's be generous today. 5-star ladder matches don't come along every day. And the rest of the card was pretty decent, pretty good. 8.5 out of 10. I really did enjoy it. It's just the main event confused me. I don't get why. I understand the attraction behind it and everything leading up to it, but it did not need to be on motherfucking pay-per-view. Alright, good show. I recommend you go watch this. If not the whole show, then just the ladder match. The ladder match is a must-see. It is good. It is great. It's probably the last really good ladder match that they had. Yeah, there you go. Good pay-per-view, motherfuckers.